Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. If you caught the last video, you saw that our half-acre pond that has taken 3 years to fill is finally full. And while we're waiting for it to freeze over so we can ice skate on it, I've got another project I want to work on to take advantage of this winter weather. It's been 2 or 3 years since we've had a real winter and we finally have some snow on the ground. So I want to go get the sled riding hill whipped into shape for the kids. All right, so I've got the LS tractor here warming up, and I thought I'd show you how I like to groom a sled riding hill in case anybody wants to do the same thing. So here's our sled riding hill. Not a very steep hill, but enough that on a tube or a sled, if you get it groomed nice, the kids can get going pretty quick. And if they're young kids, you know, this is probably almost a little bit too much because it's a pretty long run.
1, 2, 3, go!
But what I like to do is I like to throw the box blade on the back of the tractor, and then since I've got this hydraulic top and tilt kit on here, I can pitch that box blade all the way forward so that that blade that's facing forward is not cutting at all, and the blade that faces backwards is just smoothing. And the other reason I like using the box blade is because it will actually pull material with you so that any excess doesn't spill up over the top and leave you with crumbs back behind you. It'll leave you a nice finished pass. So snow is picking up here. Let's go ahead and get started on this. It's about 4:30 and the kids are going to get home from school here at about 5. Because it was so close to sunset and when the kids got home, I only had time to groom one run tonight, but the next morning I do about 5 more. So Anderson was so excited when he got home from school to go sledding that he insisted on running down to the sledding hill rather than riding with us in the side-by-side. As I always tell my wife, this is Anderson's world, we're just living in it. Okay, sit down again.
thinking?
Sure. One, two, three, go! Well, I would say that the first tubing party of the year was a success. We had a couple friends come over. They all brought their kids. My one buddy has a side-by-side as well, so we took turns driving to the bottom of the hill, picking up the kids and bringing them back up. Tell you what, these kids these days, they have it so easy. I remember back in my day, we used to sled ride uphill both ways, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I think we were out here for probably 2 hours the other day. Went up to the shop, had the wood stove going in there, ordered a couple of pizzas up to the shop, made the kids some hot chocolate, warmed up for about an hour, and then came back out here again for another 2 hours. So a total of 4 hours of sledding, an hour of hot chocolate, warming up by the wood stove. It was a pretty good day. And honestly, the best thing for these groomed trails is to just keep riding them. The more times you go down them, the more packed the snow gets, the more slick they become, and the faster the runs get. So even though, a good start is to come out here with the tractor and the box blade and get it kind of shaped up a little bit, really what gets the hills going fast is having the kids go down them. So that's the best thing, is just to keep going down them as much as you can. If you came out here with just some fresh powder and didn't do anything, it would take the kids probably 20 or 30 tries to get to the bottom of the hill before they had a track kind of packed down in that they could get all the way from the top down to the bottom. So it just speeds things up, and they can come out here in the very first run, they can get all the way to the bottom, and then they just keep getting better and better after that. But that's enough about sled riding. That was probably 3 or 4 days ago. It's been down in the teens at night and about a high of 24 over the last 3 or 4 days. So I want to go check the pond and see what our ice thickness is right now to see how close we are to being able to start ice skating on the pond. So like I said, it has been very cold here the last couple of days, but the ground, surprisingly, is still muddy underneath because it snowed and then got cold. So the snow has been acting as an insulator. That's one thing we've been fighting with this ice as well, is the snow keeps landing on it, which is insulating the ice from freezing thicker, and the ice is still too thin to get out on to shovel the snow off so it can really get cold and freeze. So I'm not expecting that I'll be able to walk out here yet, but I do want to get an idea. Once the ice is thick enough to get out on, then I can get out here, clean it off, and it'll start to freeze really thick. Plus I can start adding water on top of it, start zamboning it and getting it whipped into shape. I'm not sure if we're quite there yet, and I really don't feel like going for a bath today. So the water's edge is right about here, so even if I do go in at this point, it's not gonna be, I'll probably be in up to my ankles here. How I usually like to check the ice thickness is take a 1-inch spade bit on my drill down through the ice. Oh, that's surprisingly thicker. I was just out here checking it yesterday, and that felt almost thick enough. And clearly, I'm standing on it and not falling through right now. And then I take a tape measure. Yeah, we're about 2 1/4 inches, so we are getting close. The safe for walking on is 3 inches, and then I think to bring a four-wheeler or a side-by-side out here, it's like 5 inches. Then if you want to drive a truck out here, which I never would, you need about 8 inches of ice to do something like that. A couple winters ago, we did have cold enough snow, or a cold enough winter that I think the most ice we've ever had on this pond was about 7 inches thick. I'm kind of curious if I can get out here and shovel just a little bit off. I'm not going to go too terribly deep. If I do fall in, I've got muck boots underneath here. I don't want to be in any deeper water than this just in case I do fall in. But again, the more snow I can get off of this, the quicker it'll freeze and get thicker. Yeah, I can hear it cracking. Not quite thick enough yet. It's also going to crack a lot more around the edges too. Well, how crazy do I want to get with it? I'd be a little bit more comfortable if I didn't weigh so much. I should probably lose some weight. Yeah, check that out. You can see that crack right there. There's water coming up through. We'll do one more pass. That'll be my last words, right? There, at least now this can freeze up a little bit more. And we can probably just keep inching our way out there little by little. Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna about wrap this one up. I'll tell you what, these are my favorite kinds of videos to make even though they're typically our worst performing videos. Any of the videos that we do of camping back in the woods or ice skating on the pond or sled riding with the family, they'll typically way underperform our other videos. Right now, we're kind of in a range of anywhere between 40 and 100,000 views per video. And I would be surprised if this sled riding video does 20,000 views for whatever reason. But that being said, they are my favorite to make because these are the ones that I'll go back and watch in the middle of summer, you know, and just kind of reminisce on sled riding with the kids, or I'll go back and watch them two or 3 years later. It's kind of like a very high quality home video of my kids' childhood. So even if you guys don't like watching them, I'm gonna make them more or less for me and my family. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. And I'm gonna keep working on this ice here in the background. And if you did like this one, we'll have an ice skating video coming out here soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.